Oh, hey everybody, I'm going live tonight. I'm just going to experiment and I hope that you are along for the ride. Just saying that I thought I would do something different and mix it up a little bit. So here we go. Tonight is all about happiness myth busting. I just decided that I needed to let you know that I'm a real person and I'm not always joyful and happy, and it's why I'm chasing happiness fiercely. And I hope that you will come along for the ride because sometimes life gets a little bumpy, just saying. And I thought it would be great if I could share some of the bumpiness with you. Tonight, I'm going to unpack 3 common myths about happiness that trip up professionals. And, you know, life isn't always easy, and sometimes you just have to roll with the punches. So here we go. It's breaking these myths with some solid research. And I guess for me, well, anyway, I digress. There are 3 myths that we're going to cover tonight that I'm going to debunk. So myth 1 is happiness is or comes from achievements alone. That is definitely a myth. And I'm going to share with you some insider information on how to bust this myth. The second one is you need to stay positive all the time. I don't think that is humanly possible. Sometimes you got to mix in a little irony. Just saying. You have to find the humor in some of the difficult choices that you make in your life. And I hope that you can find some humor in the difficult moments. So myth 3 is happiness is an inside job only. Well, here we go, kids. We're going to explore these myths. And let's debunk the first myth. Happiness comes from achievements alone. There has been some research by Kinnaman and Deaton in 2010 that shows that income and promotions boost happiness only to a point and just beyond basic. And purpose actually drives joy. And I have definitely found that in my own life, in the work that I do, that if I have purpose to back it up, I can just about overcome any really horrible, difficult thing. And when you have difficult thing compounded on difficult things, sometimes it's hard to remember that even though you may be achieving things, that sometimes you need a little bit more than that. And chasing a title of whatever position that you're looking for often leads to burnout if you don't have perspective on your purpose and realize that you're in this race for the long haul. So for pros or leaders or even just professionals to look beyond the chasing of titles, remember that with titles come responsibility. And I'll give you a prime example. When I bought the Concierge office suites in 2006 from the previous owner, I thought, oh, this is going to be such a wonderful experience because now I can pursue the activities that I have seen all along for my executive suite here at the Concierge office suites. And once I was into it and had paid it off after about 5 years, I realized that, you know, I didn't sign up for an adult daycare, although I am caring for adults all day long in a professional capacity, and they are mostly of sound mind on most days. Let's put it that way. High achievers we're all a little bit tilted, just saying that I wanted to have coworkers, but I didn't realize what that really meant as a business owner. And that means that you have to be concerned about not only them personally, you have to be concerned about the families, because your family impacts your daily life and how you're able to achieve the goals that you've set for yourself. So you have to take that into account as a business owner, and the impact of how your family influences what you're doing. So I didn't grasp the gravity of having to make some difficult decisions on occasion, and the impact of that to not only the person that I was having to make a difficult decision about, but the difficult decision that their families were having to deal with, impact-wise. So sometimes you get a mixed bag of tricks, and everything isn't always easy, just saying. And leaders who tie happiness to impact, if you look at mentoring or solving real problems, can stay energized if you really are solving those real world problems. And think about some of my previous episodes, as I've talked about chasing happiness fiercely for all of these episodes. We're on episode 10 of season 2, and I'm happy to share all of my working knowledge for happiness, so you might think about ways that you can improve your own happiness level in your life. So here is an action point that you might consider for this myth of chasing a title or a position in your career. Maybe pick one work task this week that aligns with your personal values, your purpose for your work, and notice how it could shift your energy, because you're looking at the reason why you do things. I know that people that are in the healthcare professions dealing with life and death definitely have to think about the purpose of their career. So hopefully this myth one of happiness comes from achievements alone, that I've blown that up for you, and you can explore that on your own, maybe in a journal entry, and write about how the difference of pursuing what you thought was your ideal job or position and your purpose either do or don't align. And maybe you need to rethink how you're working. Maybe not what you're in pursuit of, but how you're pursuing it. Okay, here we go. Myth 2, you need to stay positive at all times. And that is a very difficult task. I can tell you that, just having been through the last 45 days of my own life has been difficult for myself. So forcing positivity ignores your real emotions about something, and sometimes that can harm your mental health, especially per Susan David's emotional agility research. And maybe I should put this in the reference some of her works in the comments after this live session. Maybe I ought to do that. So happiness can include processing your setbacks, and I think that there is some real value to, instead of asking why me, ask what you've learned through the struggle. just saying that you can't always have a positive attitude, and you have to recognize that you're not having a positive attitude to be able to shift that. So, for the professionals that are chasing happiness fiercely, like I am, authentic leaders who admit that they are facing challenges and sharing that particular struggle can build trust and inspire their teams. So maybe if you asked your team that you work with, hey, this is a real struggle that I'm having. What do you think we could do differently? And actually engage in listening to what they have to say to push yourself forward. So here is a take action step. Take a 2-minute daily reality check, just 2 minutes, maybe before you leave your work position, and write or say one tough emotion and one positive one to embrace them both. I think that would be a great plan. Maybe I need to do that today so we can really bust apart myth 2. You need to stay positive at all times and ask yourself today, what did I learn by this difficult situation? Okay, so here is myth 3. Happiness is an inside job only. It is definitely a decision, but here goes the debunking of happiness is an inside job only. The Harvard study of adult development of 80 plus years proves that strong relationships are the top happiness drivers. So, solo success feels hollow without connection. So share some of your wins. Don't keep them all to yourself. Maybe they will inspire someone else to take action. For a pro, you'll want to be building networks or team bonds that boost collaboration and fulfillment. If you are vulnerable with the people that you work with about things that you're struggling through to make happen and share that struggle with them, they can also share in the celebration. So here we go. Let's wrap it up and recap. Happiness isn't achievements, fake smiles, or going it alone. It's purpose, authenticity, connection, the people around you, and even your family members. If your family is going through some difficult times, make yourself vulnerable for that person that is your significant other and share, hey, I'm having a difficult time, and these are what I see as the difficulties. Can you help with this? Sometimes asking for help is the most difficult thing for the type A driven professionals that some of us are, just saying. So here's a call to action. I want to challenge my listeners today to try one action, i.e. a reality check, and share the results on Just a Point of View in the comments. I look forward to reading your comments and seeing your thumbs up and your hearts as you interact with me on the platforms that I am sharing Just a Point of View on. And forget the myths. Let's just chase happiness that fuels your life and your leadership. And I hope that you'll listen to the playlist, as we've gotten a few episodes here, for some really strategic moments to build happiness in your own life. And thanks for coming along. I hope that you will go to denisereed.is and look at my fun stuff that I'm doing on Just a Point of View, and maybe you could record a comment and I will share your comment on a future episode for Just a Point of View, as we are chasing happiness fiercely. And I am so thrilled that you came along tonight, and I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Have a great day. Bye.